Hey everybody, I am back with another video, and today I'm going to be doing another foundation review. The foundation that I will be reviewing today is from Catrice Cosmetics, and it is the HD Liquid Coverage Foundation. If you want to see my 3-day review on this foundation, then keep on watching. I purchased this foundation at Ulta and it retailed for $11, so it was on the drugstore side. The color that I picked out is 036 Hazelnut Beige. What it says on the bottle is this foundation says it lasts up to 24 hours. I'm not gonna wear it for 24 hours, but let's see if it lasts up to 8 hours. It is mattifying and a second skin effect. I have already primed my skin with the Milk Hydro Grip Primer. I'm going to be doing one side of my face using a brush and then the other side using a sponge. So let's get started. Nothing's really that different about my skin, just kind of some breakouts around my neck area. So let me color correct first before I start to apply the foundation on my face. So I color corrected underneath my eyes. Now let's open up the foundation. So it comes in a dropper form. It's pretty liquidy. Not sure how I'm going to apply this, if I'm going to apply it like directly to my face, and then let's try that. Let's try that with the brush side. So I'm going to do the right side of my face with a brush. It's very liquidy, so I don't know how full coverage this is going to be. I guess I'll just do like this, like a couple drops. It actually has some pretty good coverage. It's kind of moving around a lot. All right, I'm gonna put a little bit more on my forehead. Let's go down my neck. I'm still on that one pump. First impression using the brush, it's probably better to use like a stippling motion. Color-wise, I feel like it matches my neck pretty well. Like you can see this part of my neck kind of matches that, so I think that's a good fit. For the left side of my face, I'm going to be using the sponge, so let's see how that applies. So I think initially, right off the bat, I feel like the sponge works a lot better with this. I feel like the brush was just moving the foundation around a lot and it wasn't really sticking into the skin. As far as coverage, I wouldn't say it's super full coverage, but it's pretty, I would say it's medium to full. I feel like you can really build it. It doesn't feel heavy on my skin. I feel like, yeah, like it really does feel like a second skin. I feel like compared to other really mattifying foundations, I feel like this one is not as mattifying, because when I apply like other foundation, it's pretty like, looks like dry on my skin. But this is kind of like a natural matte, I would say. I'm kind of nervous just because I really like when it goes on super matte because my skin gets so oily by the end of the day. So I don't know how this is going to hold up as far as like keeping my oils at bay. But yeah, like initial application is more like a natural matte. I'm going to now apply my e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer. I feel like the concealer blended pretty well into the foundation. Before I actually set underneath my eyes and all of that, I am going to actually go in with a cream blush just so I can see how that cream blush works with this foundation. I'm going in with my Honest Beauty cream blush in Rose Pink. I don't like to put too much of the cream blush, but because I like to use it more like a base for the powder blush that I'm going to put over it. Setting my face with the Coty Airspun. Now that I am finished setting my face, I am actually going to let it sit for a little bit, and then I will do the rest of my face, and then I will come back and let you guys know about my first impressions of the initial application, and then we'll talk about the check-ins after that. I'll see you guys soon. All right, so I have finished putting all the rest of my makeup on, and what I can say is as I was applying my other products, it definitely feels like a second skin. It seemed like I didn't have foundation on, but I did. I don't know, I can't really explain it, but it feels like not cakey at all. It's actually pretty matte, but I wouldn't say it's like a drying matte. It's just a very natural matte. So hopefully this is gonna last because it is $11 only and the finish is really nice. I think it looks really pretty. So I'm going to lastly always do my setting spray. It is currently 8 a.m. I will be doing an 8-hour wear test. I will do a check-in at the 4-hour mark. I will probably do a check-in in a natural light just so you guys can see how it looks in natural light, and then finish it off with the 8-hour check-in. But let me close up so you guys can see the makeup. But yeah, I'm really happy with it. I think it's really pretty. It's a nice medium to full coverage if you build it. And I feel like when you build the foundation, it definitely doesn't feel cakey or heavy at all. It really feels very light on my skin. I will see you guys at the 4-hour check-in and we will see how this foundation lasts. I wanted to go outside so that you guys can see what it looks like more in natural light. If you can see, it's just a really pretty foundation. I'm kind of surprised on how it looks after all of the makeup is on there. In the beginning, I was getting kind of worried about it not being that full coverage, it kind of spreading everywhere, but if you, with all the makeup on together, it looks actually really pretty. I just wanted to show you guys in natural light what it looks like after just applying the makeup. Hey guys, so I actually am checking in pretty late. I am way past the 4 hours. It is actually 3:17, so it has been a little over 7 hours of wear time. So I just thought I'm just going to do the last check-in now instead of waiting till the 8-hour mark. So this is what my skin is looking like. I haven't touched up at all. I actually went out to some outdoor dining place. I was wearing a mask. I was running errands and it's pretty good. It kept on really well. I feel like in comparing both the sponge side and the brush side, I feel like this side, the brush side, a lot more makeup has come off, and I don't know if it's because when I initially applied it, it was kind of moving around, so maybe it just didn't deposit as much foundation. I feel like my left side that I used the sponge on and I probably used more product on, stayed on much better, and it actually kept the you can actually still see the blush on there. So I would definitely say the sponge side worked a lot better. As far as controlling my oiliness without any touch-up over 7 hours, it's really good, especially for a drugstore foundation. As far as the color, I think it matches well with my neck. I think this is a good match for me. What I'm going to do for tomorrow's wear test, I'm going to be using the sponge all over my face. I am going to see if I can tweak the application of it. So yeah, this is day 1. It was a really good wear test. I feel like my skin is loving it. And yeah, I will see you guys tomorrow for day 2's wear test. Hey guys, I am back for day 2 of trying out the Catrice Cosmetics HD Liquid Coverage Foundation. I've determined that I do like using the sponge better than the brush for this foundation. So I'm going to use the sponge to apply to my whole face, and I'm actually going to try it out a little bit differently. Yesterday, I dotted it all over my face and I couldn't really measure out how much makeup I needed. So what I'm going to do this time, I don't really have one of those, I don't know what it's called, but like those foundation palettes, I guess. I thought this would be feasible. It's my ColourPop Cosmetics, one of the big highlighters, and it's pretty flat on the top. So I'm thinking of applying the foundation on here and see if that just gives me better control of how much foundation I use. I've already primed my face with the Milk Hydro Grip Primer. I don't know if you can see it. I don't want it to run. It's like really runny and everything, but that is one pump. I was actually going to color correct today, but I think I'll do that tomorrow. So one pump is actually covering my whole face and down my neck area actually. I actually still have some more product on this little color pop thing. I definitely recommend putting the foundation onto some type of makeup or foundation palette before you apply. I just feel like because it's really runny, you end up using a lot less product with this than actually directly putting it onto your face. And also, I feel like you have better control of how much foundation you want in certain places. I'm going to go do like the rest of my regular routine, concealer and all of that kind of stuff. I will then come back and I'm actually going to be doing a 4-hour check-in today. I didn't do the 4-hour check-in yesterday, but I really want to see if doing a touch-up in between will help the makeup last even longer. I am going to go finish the rest of my makeup and I will be right back. All right, so I have finished all of the rest of my makeup, all of the same makeup that I used yesterday. I have applied today, except for maybe my eyes are a little bit different, but as far as the base makeup, everything is the same. It's 11:03 a.m. and I will be doing a check-in at the 4-hour mark and see if I can do a touch-up if I need it at that time, and then I'll check in at the 8-hour mark. But I love it again. I mean, I think it's a great foundation. It's very beautiful. It is a matte. It's surprisingly mattifying even for how liquidy it is. And I think it gives really good coverage. So I will see you guys at the 4-hour mark. All right, guys, it is currently 3:06 p.m. So it has been about 4 hours. My face in comparison to yesterday is actually much more shiny. I actually just stayed home today. I didn't really do anything in comparison to yesterday where I actually went places. But yeah, it's pretty shiny. So let me touch up real quick and I will come back on camera and then we'll continue with the wear test. All right, so I touched up a little bit differently today. I actually used some blotting paper. So I used this here, which is the NYX blotting paper. So I did that first and then I put a little bit of powder on top and kind of reduced the oiliness. So I will check in another 4 hours, which would be 7 o'clock. And let's see how the 8-hour wear test goes today. All right, guys, it is 7:03 p.m. and it has officially been 8 hours of wear time. Here is what my face looks like. I am oily, again, in the T-zone area. I am much oilier than I was yesterday. But overall, like here we go, when I look up close, still okay. I still think the makeup looks really good. I feel like the blush is still on. I feel like my nose contour, you can still see the nose contour on me. So overall, I think it's still a really good foundation. I really like it. So that was day 2 of using this foundation for 8 hours. Tomorrow I am going to again use the sponge, but what I'm going to do is color correct a little bit more. I will be doing the day 3 wear test tomorrow and giving you my full review if this is a foundation that I'm gonna love, which you probably already know that it is gonna be a foundation, or it is a foundation I'm already loving. But I will give you all the pros, the cons tomorrow on this foundation. So day 2 is done. Hey guys, it is now day 3 of testing out the Catrice Cosmetics HD Liquid Coverage Foundation. I am going to apply it the same way, but today I'm actually going to be doing some color correcting before I apply the foundation. Again, like all of the other days, I have already applied my primer, which is the Milk Hydro Grip Primer. So let's get started with color correcting. Now that I finished color correcting, I'm going to be applying the foundation. Okay, so I'm gonna take actually a little bit more foundation, just a little bit more, especially to cover the neck area with the green color corrector. I feel like I need a little bit more coverage in that area. I'm going to go and finish off the rest of my makeup all the same way that I've done the last couple days, and then I will be back. All right guys, so I have applied all the rest of my makeup. I think it still applied very smoothly. I needed a little bit more foundation just to cover the color corrector on my neck area. It still took about a dropper and then a little bit more than a dropper to apply the foundation to my whole face. I will again be doing a 4-hour and 8-hour check-in. Then I will see you guys at the 4-hour check-in. I forgot to show you guys the starting time. So it is currently 8:32 a.m. It is 12:25. So it's basically 4 hours of wearing the foundation. This is what my skin is looking like. Go up close. So I am definitely getting shiny in the T-zone area, especially on my cheeks here, my nose, and a little bit on my forehead. But I would say that altogether, my makeup still looks pretty good. I don't feel like any of the makeup is coming off. I can still see the blush. I do still see my nose contour. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm going to touch up. Let me come back on camera so you guys can see what my face looks like, and then I will do the 8-hour check-in. I touched up my face, so it's looking a lot less oily now. I feel like the second day and now this third day of wearing it, I feel like my oils are coming out a lot more than they did on the first day. So let's see what my makeup looks like at the 8-hour mark, but here we go after touching up. This is what my face is looking like. All right guys, so it is 7:58 p.m. So it's almost 12 hours total of wear time with this foundation. Probably some of the makeup has come off, but this is 12-hour wear time for an $11 foundation. I think that's pretty good. I will sit down tomorrow to give you the full details of the pros and cons of this foundation, but overall I think this is a great foundation. I need to take this makeup off now. It's been on my face way too long, and I will sit down with you guys tomorrow and we'll go over all the pros, all the cons, and my overall review of this foundation. I'll see you guys tomorrow. I have finished the 3-day review of the Catrice Cosmetics HD Liquid Coverage Foundation, and now I want to go over with you my overall review, some of the pros and cons that I have found with this foundation after wearing it for 3 days. Let me start with the cons. My cons are mostly like a personal preference, and it's more about the application. Let me start off with how liquidy the foundation is. So the foundation is very liquidy. It doesn't have an effect on the actual like lasting power of the foundation or any of that. It's just very liquidy, and for me, I don't like that, because I'm the type of person who likes to apply my foundation on my hand. I feel like when I put it on my hand, it just kind of slid all over the place, and yeah, it just didn't work for me. Also, that comes along with that is that it comes in a dropper form. I'm not really a big fan of foundations that come in like a dropper form. I'd rather prefer like a pump or a squeeze bottle, but because it is so liquidy, the fact that it comes in a dropper form like doesn't help at all. I feel like if it was like if it was a thicker foundation and it was in dropper form, then I guess it could work because you can just drop it on your hand, but it's so liquidy that I feel like you have to use some type of palette to place it on. I have been using like the back of my big ColourPop highlighter to place it on before applying. So that's some of the cons that I have about this foundation. Some pros. So of course I would say the price is a huge pro. It's only $11, and the fact that it works for my oily skin being only $11, I think it's really great. I feel like the makeup that you apply on top of the foundation doesn't come off. Even though I did get oily, like even at the 4-hour and the 8-hour check-in, I felt like my makeup still stayed on. Like my blush was still on, even though my face was oily. So I feel like it lasts a long time. As far as keeping you matte, I don't think it's the most mattifying foundation. For super oily people like me, you are probably going to have to touch up. It doesn't like keep you the most matte throughout the day, but it does keep you matte enough where you're not like like a grease ball at the end of the day. Overall, I just think it's a really good foundation for the price. It didn't make me break out. As far as the color, I think the color worked really well for my skin. So if you guys are the same foundation color, I will put the color of this foundation that worked down below as well. I'll also link where you can buy this. I purchased mine at Ulta. Thank you guys so much for watching this 3-day review on the Catrice Cosmetics HD Liquid Coverage Foundation. If you want to follow me on all of my other social media, I am at Jen's So-Called Life on Facebook and on Instagram. And I will be back next week for another video. Bye everybody.